Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday evening. Welcome to the Optimus Fantasy Football channel. I'm Nate Polvo. Yes, it's very dark. Man, it got real dark. Daylight savings ending drives me crazy.
It's
It's
a shock. I'm okay with it. I like the dark. It's very cozy. It's very, I think it's the my Nordic blood, that sort of thing, but it's very I like it. But it's still trippy when it's like it is pitch black by 4:30.
I know, and you're trying to your brain's trying to decide, wait, is it time for me to go to bed? I don't know what to do. Like getting tired by 7:00 where I just want to go straight to sleep.
Right? And, it's like you're doing stuff, just kind of going throughout your day. It's like, okay, all right, yeah, I guess it's time to get ready for bed. You look over, it's 6:00. Like, wait, what is happening? Where am I? Who am I?
We were watching the game tonight, and Jen's like, how is this game only in the second quarter? It's got to be 8:30. I'm like, it's just now 7.
It didn't help that the game was, for the most part, been kind of boring and just slop.
It was atrocious. It was atrocious. But we're not here to talk about that game. I don't want to talk about that game. We all just watched it.
I mean, I think that kind of covers it too.
It does. Look, if you didn't watch the game, if you did not watch the Eagles and the Lions tonight, here's the gist of it. Kind of crappy weather. The Eagles just sort of won by default is how it felt, really. There was nobody really won anything. Jared Goff looked off. I don't know. Wasn't worth watching.
There was a lot of wind. There was a lot of wind, and that obviously made a difference, and that was about it. The Eagles have really good guys on defense, which we all knew.
Yeah, not surprising. Let's go ahead and move on to this week's slate list, as that is what we are here for. We'll very quickly talk about this Dolphins-Commanders game in Madrid, Spain this morning. Goes to overtime. Nothing really exceptional about this game. Nothing fun to talk about. Did you take anything away from it?
One thing. Corey Krosky-Merritt has lost his job.
Yes.
He is not the starting running back. It is Chris Rodriguez. And we kind of expected this going in. This was not a big surprise. But at the same time, it still matters because for a while there, people were still putting him in the lineups and that sort of thing. And that time is long gone now. We can't be doing that anymore. And Chris Rodriguez looked pretty okay. Nothing special. A worse version of Brian Robinson, which is ironic considering,
they had Brian Robinson.
Him away. Right. But again, bad teams stay bad for a reason. But that's really the only thing I took away from this. It looked like two young kids fighting with wet cardboard swords, as I said to you earlier this morning. It was really bad.
Yep. Yeah, and like you said, Merritt had 9 carries for 28 yards. Not exciting for him. Chris Rodriguez, 15 for 79. We did not see Rodriguez involved at all in the passing game. Merritt had 1 target for 5 yards. But I think that's irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
Chris Rodriguez is going to take the bulk of the running volume. What that means for fantasy, I don't know that it's particularly relevant. I don't think there's a particularly relevant running back on this roster right now in Washington.
And I mean, because of their division, I care when they play Dallas, when they play New York. I really don't care when they play Philadelphia, that sort of thing. You play the matchups and understand that when the matchup is good, you play Rodriguez and you ignore the rest.
Yeah, on the Miami side, Tua, 14 of 20 for 171, doesn't have a touchdown or a pick. The only thing that really stood out in this game on the Miami side was Devon Achane, again, 21 carries for 121 yards, and then Ollie Gordon gets the touchdown. They won this game in Madrid because they could run the ball at the end of the day.
It was their offense was entirely running the ball. Tua, he never pushed the ball down the field because he didn't have to. Because again, two bad teams going at it against each other, and it looked like it the entire time.
Yeah, it really was. It was just 2 bad teams going at each other. I've had enough of this one. Let's move on to the 1:00 Eastern slate, Lou. The first game that we're going to talk about was an overtime game again. The Carolina Panthers winning ultimately over the Atlanta Falcons 30-27. The big story in this has to be Bryce Young. 448 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Career highs there. He does take 5 sacks. But he looked like a real quarterback today. And because of it, Tet McMillan looked like a real wide receiver. 8 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Tet. I'm sorry, Tet Aroa. He hates being called Tet, as we found out today. Look, T-Mac was great today. Bryce Young was great today. I know. Here's my question, though. How much
Yeah,
of this
sure.
of the Atlanta defense?
Oh, I mean, if the Panthers could just play Atlanta, they would have a viable fantasy-friendly offense. The 2 games that they played the Falcons, they've looked really good. And in the other, 8 or 9 games, whatever they've played now, they've looked marginal at best.
Yeah.
This is the world that they live in. Divisional matchups are weird. The Atlanta Falcons are weird. When you stack that weird on top of each other, it creates this black hole of weird that just turns Bryce Young into this all-star Drew Brees-esque quarterback, which he doesn't live in that world.
No.
He really doesn't. So I'm not expecting this. It's good to see that it's in there and that we can, it's reasonable to try and trot him out with these more friendlier matchups. But I'm not really taking anything else away from it than that. Unfortunately, the Carolina running backs have crashed back down to earth. I don't really want to have to start either of these guys now.
No, because Dowdle, 19 carries for 45 yards, 2.4 yards per carry. He did not get in the end zone. The touchdowns were 2 to Ted McMillan, and then Xavier Legette had the other one. Xavier Legette, Lou, we know what he is. He's not a super talented wide receiver. He's clunky. He doesn't have good feet. He runs awkward routes. He's not especially fast. Yet he still gets 8 targets in these games. He ends up with 4 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. I don't think at this point, as we're heading towards the fantasy playoffs, you could ignore how Legette is involved in this offense. He's not a guy you're starting most weeks, but in good matchup weeks, Legette's a guy who could get a touchdown for you if it's going to be a pass-heavy script for Carolina. Flex,
and it's probably going to be a pass-heavy script more often than not. Let's be honest. Their defense is improved, but it's still not good. And they've got some offense in their division. Unfortunately, they're done playing Atlanta now, so there's that. But yeah, I can't get excited about Legette, but at the same time, if the volume is there, he is. I don't want to say physically talented enough because it's not talent. He has the physical attributes to be able to do things when the ball is thrown to him enough times, is how I would put it. Because he doesn't look good out there. He just looks like he looks like he's the Carolina version of Gabe Davis, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good
guy 8 to 10 targets, and he's gonna fall into 4 to 5 catches and probably a touchdown because of his size.
Yep, 100%. I'm not excited about him, but I think he is a viable flex play as we move towards the fantasy playoffs, just because we're seeing the usage continue. When we saw it earlier in the season, I was not advocating picking him up because I, honest to God, did not believe that we were going to continue to see it. He's the wide receiver 2 behind Tedoroa. That's just all there is to it. So, now on the other side of this one here on Atlanta, Michael Penix actually, before he went down, Lou, looked decent. 13 to 16 for 175 yards. He did not throw a touchdown. Then we got Kirk Cousins, who was Kirk Cousins, 6 to 14 for 48 yards here in the loss. The only really good thing about this offense today was Bijan Robinson. He was 23 carries for 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. We'd had Algier get the other rushing touchdown. Drake London then as well, 7 catches for 119 yards. So he's a viable part of this offense, continuing to be a viable part of this offense. Did you have any other takeaways from the Atlanta side of this game?
Really, it's just London's injury here that our friend here, the Galaxy Pickers, brought up. Everything that I've heard so far through our news account there, news.optimusfantasy.com on Blue Sky there. Fantastic account. You need to be following it if you're not. Everything I've heard from them is that they don't think that this is a long-term knee injury for London. Now, what does that mean? I don't really know because Garrett Wilson has now missed most of the season with a not long-term knee injury. I don't feel great about it. And I am very worried about what this offense is able to do if London is taken out of it. Because they're not moving the ball through the air to anybody else. And if you don't have to worry about a passing game at all, that allows you to really focus down on that running game in stopping Bijan, stopping Algier. And then the Atlanta offense just becomes, God, I really hope Bijan can break a long one, because that's it. And that's a scary thing for an offense that we are really kind of relying on to carry fantasy teams. Like Bijan Robinson and Drake London, that's probably a lot of running back one and wide receiver ones for a lot of teams.
Yeah. Look, here's the thing with this offense. It is Bijan Robinson. And if Drake London goes down, it gets scary because David Sills had a target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, why?
I don't know.
For who, for what?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Before we move on to the next game, though, I want to get to this one here. Dustin Wells, we didn't skip you, buddy. Galaxy Pickers question was just
topical
to what we were talking about. Correct. 69 points. They still have Javonte Williams, Jonathan Bowers. Am I good? Yep. I think you're probably okay. I can't see.
It's so. Listen, we saw Bowers put up 40 plus the other week. I can't say you're good. I think you are.
I think you
are, because like they got to average 23 apiece, and that's a tough task for any three players, to be honest with you. Like, we'll talk about some of them a bit later. I think you're probably good. What you get through the first quarter and nobody's popped off yet, you can probably breathe easy.
Well, the thing about when you get two teams with okay offenses and really bad defenses together, we always think that these are going to be these like massive shootout games, and they never are. They end up being like really just like sloppy, ugly slugfest. This one could be different.
We're going to talk about one a little later on, though, that turned into exactly that.
Yeah, we will.
That shootout.
We've got the newest member of Optimus Fantasy dropping in the chat here. I don't even know what position David Sills plays. That's because you're not over 40, Cam. That's why.
Listen, that's valid. It
is
valid. Worth knowing, you'd know.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. David Sills. Not a name I thought we were going to see today, Lou. But alas.
It's Atlanta's depth chart, man. It's scary stuff.
Oh, it's ugly. Let's move on to the next game here. We're going to talk about the Steelers and the Bengals. Pittsburgh winning this contest 34-12 over Cincinnati. Aaron Rodgers, before he left at halftime with a hand injury, 9-15 for 116 yards and a touchdown. Mason Rudolph took over in the second half, led the team to a field goal and a touchdown. Mostly, though, if we're being honest, Pittsburgh won this on defense. 2 defensive touchdowns. That's really what it came down to. They played better defense, which is surprising for this squad. We didn't expect it. This is a game that we expected to be one of those shootouts because it's two just atrocious defenses and two offenses that love to sling the ball.
And they did it last time.
Yeah, and they did do it last time. But we didn't get that fun this time, which was
disappointing.
I know, and we talked about it this morning, too, where we thought this was going to be a pretty high-scoring game, to the point where I was excited, and T. Higgins did end up getting the touchdown. Jamar Chase wasn't as electric, I think, as we expected today. Jamar Chase, 3 catches for 30 yards. T. Higgins ends up being the leading receiver, 3 catches for 63. What they did do well, and this is shocking, is they actually ran the freaking ball today with Chase Brown.
I've been I suppose you could accuse me of being a Chase Brown truther. It's more that I feel like I understood what was going on earlier in the year, where there was nowhere to go with the ball, and now there is. Because you have a quarterback back there that teams have to respect. They know that Flacco's going to throw the ball down the field, and obviously today that did not work well. But as a result of that respect, they were able to run the ball. It's not just guys crashing down, blowing up rushing lanes. And I mean, if there's one thing we know about Chase Brown, dude is fast. You give him a little runway and a little crease, and he will take it 10, 15, 20 yards really quickly. Straight line, like he's not going to juke anyone in that.
Right.
But he can bend it a little bit. Darren McFadden-esque.
Darren McFadden, I love that pull. My issue's never been with Chase Brown's talent. It's been the situation around him and the poor offensive line play, especially this season. But he kind of broke out of that. I mean, he averaged 5.5 yards per carry today, Lou. That's pretty good for Chase Brown. And
he's seeing the targets, too.
Yep.
For added goodness.
Yeah, he had 8 targets, caught 6 of them for 28 yards. Jamar Chase did, for whatever it's worth, lead the team in targets with 10. T. Higgins just had more receptions, more yards, and Chase Brown led the team in receptions. So this was a weird day from Cincinnati. We expect more offense out of them. To only get 12 points out of this team, 1 touchdown and 2 field goals.
To only get 12 points coming out of the bye with Joe Flacco, who's been just chucking the ball all over the field, by far his worst fantasy performance as a Bengal.
He only had 199 yards passing.
Right. I feel like the most interesting thing to me about the Bengals side of this is that they're now sitting at 3-7. Like, they have absolutely no shot at the playoffs.
Right.
There's talk about Burrow coming back and everything like that. I saw it talked about earlier that doesn't matter how far out of it they are. Burrow's going to be back this season. Like, that sounds great and all. For the first time as a franchise, Cincinnati, please don't let Burrow come back this year.
There's no reason to.
None whatsoever. Like, all you can do is get him hurt more, which sets your franchise back even more. Let him heal, keep him shut down. Draft 17 offensive linemen in the offseason and come back and try again next year.
Yeah.
This is not the year to force Burrow back. It's just not.
No, you're like you said, Lou, you're 3-7, you're 1-4 in the division. You don't have a shot here. It's over.
No.
You've got a Steelers team that's leading the division. You've got a Baltimore team that is now surging and back to 500 somehow, some way. These are both teams that have a much better shot at winning the division. They might as well just go the way of Cleveland. Maybe trade for Shedeur Sanders when Dylan Gabriel comes back. I don't know.
Oh my God.
And we'll get to that game. We're not gonna talk about that yet. Let's move over to the Pittsburgh side of this one, Lou. Mason Rudolph comes in and performs admirably. 12 of 16 for 127 yards and a touchdown. What we're hearing is it is a broken, fractured left hand for Aaron Rodgers. Not throwing. Left hand. He should still, we're looking at least 1 to 2 games. So we're going to see Mason Rudolph. I don't hate it for the Steelers offense.
I do, because it's Mason Rudolph. And listen, Mason Rudolph's performance today, it's the Bengals. That's true. It has a lot to do with it. Because it's not just they can't cover, they can't tackle.
Sure.
So all these guys are catching the ball, and what it should be a 5-yard catch tackle turns into a 5-yard catch broken tackle, and now they're running for another 10 yards. I saw that happen so many times on every single time that this game came across my feed today. I don't understand how Bengals fans can do it, to be perfectly honest with you, because I would be having a heart attack every single week yelling at my TV.
Oh, it's like the Trevor Siemian days here. Yes, I get it. Infuriating.
I can only imagine.
Infuriating. Jaylen Warren, 10 for 62. Not a bad day. We see Gainwell go. It did, and he did get hurt. But he did come back out. We're hopeful that Warren should be okay moving forward. But Gainwell got some work, 9 carries for 24 yards. He also added 7 catches for 81. And then Darnell Washington brought him up this morning. That man, wow. First of all, definitely angry runs.
Yes.
On Good Morning Football. Has to be on Tuesday. That was an incredible run.
4 catches. Fun to watch.
It was so fun. Well, he's so big. He does look like a tall offensive lineman or like a nose tackle running down the field.
You remember Greg Lloyd?
A little, yeah.
The Pittsburgh linebacker. He was ginormous. And always just so much. In an era of big linebackers, he was a big linebacker. I feel like that's what Washington looks like. He's just so much bigger than everybody else doing what he's doing. It's not right, man. It is not right.
It's not right at all. But he keeps doing it. Pratt Firemouth, 1 target. Johnny Smith had 2 targets. Washington had 5. At this point,
welcome to Arthur Smith offense. I don't know.
And I don't think it matters who's at quarterback. I think Darnell Washington is someone in this offense who's going to be involved. Outside of that, DK Metcalf, 5 for 49, did not score. Kenny Gainwell had both of their offensive touchdowns. So Kenny Gainwell, roster up. Yeah, I think
That's-
he's proving to be flexible.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely someone that you should probably have on your roster, especially if you're a playoff team or a hopeful playoff team,
Yep.
because there's going to be some uncertainty around Jalen Warren coming out, and I would rather be safe than sorry. Have an extra startable running back rather than down one, that sort of thing. Especially as we start preparing our rosters for playoff runs, that depth is important. Make sure your starter goes down. You have someone that you can plug in. And Warren's not the sturdiest guy. Like, he gets dinged up. This is what he does every year.
Yep. Yeah. So I do like Gainwell rest of season. I don't. DK Metcalf. How do you feel about him? He's been really up and down. He sees targets, but it's what's being done with said targets that concerns me.
Yeah, and I mean, this is again, welcome to Arthur Smith offense. This was kind of, if you were reading the tea leaves in the preseason and how Aaron Rodgers runs his offenses and how Arthur Smith runs his offenses, this was kind of always how it was going to be. It's not the DK Metcalf from Russ Wilson and Geno Smith, these graceful bombs down the field. It's the catch it and hope he can run with it. And there's not a lot of space in this offense because there's nobody outside of DK Metcalf that matters, that scares you. Like, you could, fine, Calvin Austin, go do your thing. Roman Wilson, you're alive. I'm very happy to hear that. But I don't care what these guys do. Like, okay, great. You got me. I still don't care. That guy over there, that ginormous behemoth that can run like a cheetah, him I care about. So we're going to defend him, and y'all can do whatever.
I mean, and that is fair. I want to throw this out from the chat.
Yeah.
Who would have thought you could move BTJ for Amari and Hampton right now? You can make that deal straight up. Run, don't walk. Smash.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, number one, you cannot get too many running backs this time of year. And we'll get to how the Chargers looked or didn't look later. But Hampton will still help that. If nothing else, we know he stays involved in the passing game. And that'll help keep his floor a little higher than some of the other Chargers running backs options.
Well, I mean, I still think we'll see a little bit of Adal when he comes back, but he is the RB1, 100%. Yes. And BTJ, Jacksonville's offense is just not great. I don't know.
It's just not great. Yeah.
What about Trevion Henderson for Brock Bowers? He's already got McBride. I would
like trading Bowers for Henderson.
If you're moving Henderson for Bowers, then yes, do that right now, and then figure it out later. You can flex Bowers, start McBride as a tight end. But if it's the other way around, absolutely not.
Yeah, this depends a little bit, I think, on what my running back room looks like.
Because if you're moving Brock Bowers, Lou, for a running back, you're not moving him for Trevion Henderson.
No, you are absolutely correct there. I'm talking about trading Henderson for Bowers.
Gotcha.
It depends a little bit on what my running back room looks like. Like, if Henderson, because I know where he was drafted most often than not. Like, he's usually in the top 5 rounds ish. If not far after. So if he's one of these guys that you kind of need as one of your top 2 running backs, I probably hold on to Henderson and just really hope that the Patriots do the right thing when Ramondre Stevenson is healthy, and continue to feature Henderson, because he is so clearly their best offensive weapon, not running back, weapon, period.
Clearly on a 9-2 team.
Right. That's running away with the division from the Bills, which is, I mean, who thought that was coming preseason?
Certainly not me. No way. Okay, we got this one here, Lou. Put up 102.2 points in fantasy. This other guy put up 102.6, but I still have Brandon Aubrey left. Tyreek World, you're going to be just fine. Brandon Aubrey, you need like 2 points. So moving Handy to get Bowers, my running back, if I get Hampton, would be Javonte Henderson, Hampton, Tracy, and Kamara.
I don't do that.
No?
I don't. We hope when Hampton comes back, he's good enough, right? I feel like both Henderson and Hampton right now are kind of a little bit more than half a running back. Javonte is definitely one. Henderson and Hampton, we hope that they're two, but they're probably more like 2/3 each ish right now.
Yeah.
And Tracy and Kamara, those are not real running backs right now. Like if you're starting them, you are already in deep trouble, especially at 8-2. That's I lose in the first round of the playoffs sort of thing.
So I have a thought though.
Yeah,
Because I'm fine with moving Hendy to get Bowers back if you can turn around and flip Bowers for 2 running backs.
And
I
that
think
is
you can do that.
And that is you have to know your league economy to do something like that. Like you don't make that trade hoping. You make the trade for Bowers already kind of having that in your back pocket. Hey, if I can get Brock Bowers, what would you give me for him? Would we be able to do something? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like you have those conversations first.
Well,
but
I know somebody
very league specific.
I know somebody in our league, Lou. You wouldn't even have to have a conversation about it. If you send them the trade offer, they just take it. Every league has those people too. So
that's true.
You take advantage of them while you can. All right, now we're going to move on to the next one here because we're done with that. The AFC North, yuck. Though we have more of them to talk about, and we will later. The Houston Texans barely beating the Tennessee Titans today, 16-13. Of course, we had Davis Mills start today, and as we all predicted, was not the same game that we thought we were going to get. Davis Mills played great last week. This just was not his week.
And I mean, he kind of remembered he was Davis Mills, is how I took it.
Yep.
And Tennessee kind of played a bit fiery today. That was good to see.
They did.
I would not have been shocked if they had just really packed it in, and they were hitting, they were sticking. The offense was trying. They kept getting injured. Oh my God. I mean, did you get your call to go play wide receiver for them, Nate? I know I got mine. I had to turn them down because I'm 44 with bad knees.
I'm 43 with bad knees, so we're in the same boat.
So,
yeah, I told them I'd play tight end. They're like, no, we got Gunnar, Helm, and Chig for that. We don't need you.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need me for anything else either.
Yeah. And in spite of that, Cam Ward ended up having one of his better games today. 24-37 for 194, throws a touchdown, and notably his first turnover-free game in the NFL for the rookie.
Big. That's really big for him. Because we've seen, I've mentioned this to you a couple times throughout the season. Like he's got some Will Levis to his game, and that not just turnover, but disaster of a turnover. Today was good to see him take care of the ball. And I'd like to see him break 200 yards on almost 40 passing attempts. And at the same time, when you lose, everyone, Calvin Ridley. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even think of his name for the rest of the year with a broken leg.
Yep.
Alec Ayomaner left for a while. Chimere Dike was out for the game. I mean, they were down to Van Jefferson and the ghost of Tyler Lockett, essentially, a wide receiver. So it's kind of no wonder that he couldn't even break 200 yards on 24 completions and 37 pass attempts. Like that's against Houston's defense, no less. Like this is a good defense.
Well, the thing is it's a bad day when Van Jefferson leads the team in targets. He had 7.
Yeah.
And that's not a good sign. And it's not necessarily a knock on Van Jefferson. Like, we know what he is. He's a very mid-level wide receiver 3 type in any offense that he's going to be in. He shouldn't lead your team in targets. So you've got a problem there. And the fact they only lost by 3 points in this game to a much superior Texans offense. It has a very good Texans defense. I'm impressed.
Yeah, you don't want to take solace in losses, as an NFL fan, that sort of thing. But when you picked first overall the previous year, you can do that because it's you have literally nothing else. And that's where Tennessee is right now. And it sucks for them and it sucks for the fan base, but it's true. And it was good to see him come out. It's, Mike McCoy there. Seems like I don't want to say he's doing a great job or anything like that, but if nothing else, he's turning them in the right direction.
Yeah, he's doing fine. As for the rest of this team, Tony Pollard, 10 carries for 22 yards. He added 3 catches for 4 yards. Tajay Spears, 4 carries for 3 yards. Not a great day for the second-year running back. He added 5 catches for 31. Now, on the Houston side of this, Mills, fairly unexceptional day, though he does throw the ball 41 times, ends up 274 yards and a touchdown. Back in QB2, fine enough. The rookie Woody Marks, 18 carries for 44 yards. Nick Chubb continues to fade into obscurity, had a total of 3 carries today. He did see 2 targets in the passing game, did not record a catch. Nico Collins, the big story here, Lou, 9 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown.
I mean, you'd love to see CJ Stroud remember to use him like this. Is my big takeaway. Like, hey, remember that guy there, that Nico Collins? He's good. You should throw him the ball more. But yeah, that's really it for me, is that this Houston offense, especially while Stroud is out, is Nico Collins and kind of only Nico Collins. We might see someone else step up here and there randomly, but trying to pin that down, especially with I like the talent and the depth that they have on their team. Between Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Dalton Schultz, even Woody Marks. I mean, that's some decent up and coming and mix of veteran pass catchers and runners there. And you're really only going to get maybe one other in a given week. God help you to figure out which one that's going to be.
I don't want to figure it out.
No, exactly.
I really want it to be Jaden Higgins. He did see 7 targets today, third on the team. Dalton Schultz had 9. That was second on the team. Higgins had 4 catches for 55. We saw Dalton Schultz get 6 for 51. And Xavier Hutchinson, somehow, some way, keeps getting involved. He had 3 catches today. Nothing outstanding. He had 5 targets. Behind that, we had some guys with 1 target apiece. And then Christian Kirk, 4 targets, 1 catch for 6 yards. In like classic Christian Kirk style. So, yeah.
At this point.
All right, Lou, before we get on to the next game here, Periaco 1702 saying that his deadline is by the end of the Cowboys game tomorrow. Look, if you think you can flip Bowers for more running backs, do it. Yeah. If you don't think you can, then don't make the trade. I think that's where we land on it here. Feel it out, see what you can do. Call it a day if it won't work. And good luck. Trone Force 8199, Lou 6-5 on a 3-game losing streak. Oof. Should I make any moves? Here's his roster. He's got Dalton Flacco at quarterback, Nico Collins, Devonta Smith, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Warren, Chris Olave, Deebo Samuel, Kenny Gainwell, Tank Bigsby, and Terry McLaurin. The first thing I'm going to say right now is you need to get another receiver. We're not going to see Terry McLaurin again this season. I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to shut him down. There's no reason to really roll him out. This is a team that has no shot at the playoffs. They've spent money on this guy. They want to protect their investment.
Yeah.
But
and I mean, Deebo doesn't, he kind of counts as a wide receiver at this point.
Ish.
Like you kind of go 3 deep between Nico, Devonta, and Deebo. And you kind of got to throw out the game from Devonta tonight. Like the wind tonight was really affecting the passing game. We saw it in both directions. And we know that Devonta Smith is a quality enough wide receiver, even as weird as the Eagles have been this year. My big thing is I'd be seeing if anybody is interested in Barkley, in giving you anything for Barkley. You've got too many Eagles on your team between Devonta, Barkley, Bigsby, Goddard. If Philly has games like tonight, it hurts so much. Try and spread it out. Package Barkley and Bigsby together. See if somebody will give you something. Just spread it out a little bit so it's not just Philly. And I think he's the one that you could get the most for.
Yep. The other thing I would say too is if you're worried about Jackson Dart moving forward and you're relying a lot on Joe Flacco as your starter, be aware that Burrow might be back week 13. So you may need to make an adjustment here to get someone on your roster that you can start in the event Jackson Dart gets hurt. But that might be a tomorrow you or a next week you problem. Just throwing it out there.
And if y'all haven't, check out our latest series of articles on our site where we break down all the playoff matchups for every single team across all positions. It will really help with these sorts of plans to see what sort of waiver wire options and trade options are going to be beneficial for you down the stretch. I highly recommend it.
It can help you with a lot of that start sit stuff too. So,
Yeah.
we've got Tyreek World saying that they're surprised to see that CMC is not the number one running back in fantasy. It's been a crazy year. We've got guys like Jonathan Taylor going absolutely nuclear. So
Yeah.
it will happen. Also wants to know what's wrong with Justin Jefferson. It's called, he has JJ McCarthyitis.
Yeah, this was the downside with JJ, huh? And I don't know if we want to just kind of get to that game now and start talking about it now.
You know what? We might as well. Let's go ahead and hit that one. The Chicago Bears beat the Minnesota Vikings 19-17. And this game highlighted everything that is going wrong for Justin Jefferson, not with Justin Jefferson, because this isn't a Justin Jefferson problem.
No, it's
not even in the slightest. This is you've got a quarterback in his functional rookie year, essentially, even though it is his second year. And what you get out of him is 16 for 32 for 150 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. The majority of that coming in the fourth quarter when they were trying to win the game, which they couldn't even manage to do at the end there. And McCarthy made some good plays, but this is what it is. It's the same thing we saw out of Bo Nix last year, where he can't put it together until he's rushed. And when they start playing yard ball, that's when he starts playing well. When you're not asking him to form into an offense, you're not asking him to fit a mold. You're just letting him sling it. Some quarterbacks can grow out of it. Some can't. I don't know that McCarthy can.
And we've seen, I hate rushing to judgment on young quarterbacks. And Nate, you and I have talked about this earlier this year, where we see young quarterbacks not have the chance to fail and be supported. I'm hopeful that McCarthy does, because he is clearly failing right now. Like, we could see it in real time, him drowning. He's right now that proverbial drinking through the fire hose, if you will, of information, trying to process plays, trying to operate within a functional offense. Something he never really had to do at Michigan because of the team around him, how they primarily run first offense, go out there, make 2 throws a game, and other than that, just move the chains and we'll be fine. No, he has to go and do this right now. This is what's wrong with Justin Jefferson, is that Justin Jefferson is an all-world wide receiver, and even with the other quarterbacks that he played with over the last couple of years, they all knew enough to be able to function at the kind of like backup NFL level, where it's like, that guy's really good. I'm just going to throw the ball wherever I think he's going to be, and he's going to make me right.
Yep.
JJ McCarthy, number one, doesn't know how to do that. And number two, he only has a fastball right now. So everything is maximum velocity, maximum effort, and just trying to throw a ball through a plank of plywood every time. That's a really difficult world to live in, both as a quarterback and a pass catcher for the quarterback, because you can't, that makes it a lot harder to catch the ball depending on where you're running, the type of route. It requires nuance, and McCarthy simply does not have it yet. So this is probably what we're looking at for the rest of the season with Jefferson, and we're going to have some of these stinkers sprinkled in, and we'll have some stronger games like we saw last week, and kind of okay-ish. Like, yeah, I'm not excited about this from my first round wide receiver, but I can live with this. But yeah, this is just what it is.
My issue with McCarthy coming out of school, and I said this last season when he was drafted, is just what you said. He had to make 2 throws a game at Michigan. Yeah. They won a national championship on the back of Blake Corum.
Blake Corum and
a very good defense.
Defenders. Yeah,
yes, a very good defense, as any Harbaugh team will have, right? Mm-hmm. But on offense, it was Blake Corum. That was their offense. McCarthy had to effectively hand the ball off and not make mistakes. Unfortunately, that doesn't work at the NFL level unless you have the 2001 Ravens defense.
Right, exactly.
So, or apparently this year's Broncos defense. But like, and really the rest of this offense, with the way some teams can like insulate a quarterback, this offense can't do it. Aaron Jones is old, unfortunately. Yep. Jordan Mason
offensive line is bad.
Their offensive line is bad. Jordan Mason not the guy we thought he was going to be. Today, 6 carries for 45 yards. He did get the touchdown, which saved his day if you started him in fantasy, but he's just not that guy.
No, and I think it's for Mason specifically. I think it's the function of the rest of the offense around him. If there's a functional quarterback back there, along with as well as some better offensive linemen that can actually protect and open up some lanes, I think he could be that low end running back 2 type of guy. If he's the lead guy, he's not, because they're not. That's not a functional quarterback. That's not a functional offensive line. And they're getting exposed. It's what happens when you don't have those things.
Well, and we've run into an issue now with this Minnesota offense, and we'll move on to the Bears side here in a second. But where guys like TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, they're becoming borderline hard to start because, some weeks Jordan Addison gets a touchdown today. Okay, great. But outside of that touchdown, he had 2 catches for 20 yards. So if he doesn't get that touchdown, you're staring down 4 PPR points. And you can't handle that at this point in this season.
No, I mean, even with it, that's 10 points. You get a touchdown and 10 points total. I mean, that's a rough day at the office.
Mm-hmm. Aaron Jones, though, he looks good. He was viable today. Yeah.
And he might be like in the games. He actually looks good out there on the field. He looks fast. He looks strong. He looks tough. They're using him in the passing game, or trying to use him in the passing game. Thank you, JJ McCarthy. And it's Aaron Jones. Like, we know he's going to turn his ankle at some point, and because he's, 33-year-old running backs do that.
Well, yeah. God, he's only a decade younger than me. That's scary for him. Ooh.
Right.
All right, now let's go to the Bears side of this. Oddly, Caleb Williams also goes 16 of 32. Identical. I know, weird, but he doesn't get the touchdown. He also doesn't throw an interception today, Lou. 193 yards for Williams. The real, we'll say, breadwinner here, DeAndre Swift, 21 carries for 90 yards. Monangai gets the rushing touchdown. I don't know what this Bears offense is exactly what we thought it was. It's mid right now. They're learning a new system. I think we were maybe a little too hyped on Caleb Williams earlier on in the season. But also, he's been good.
Yeah, today was. I feel like today was a really good litmus test for do you know ball, with regards to this game, on both sides.
Sure.
On both sides, there was a lot of takes, as people will say on the interwebs, and Caleb had a very much he can't catch it for him kind of day. He was putting it on his pass catchers today, putting them on him well. And they just weren't catching them for this reason or the other reason. And, what you don't catch 4, 5, 6 balls that you should. All of a sudden, you're going from 22 of 32 down to 16 of 32. It hurts drives, brings scoring down, all these things. So, yeah, he's, it was not a great day for him or anything like that. And I think the encouraging thing, at least for the Bears and Bears fans, and honestly for fantasy as well, is he didn't need to be great for the other guys to be functional, for DeAndre Swift to be functional. That's been a really big thing. And with Monangai coming back, I know we questioned, what is this running game going to look like after Monangai just destroyed Cincinnati personally. And it's really turned into, it flows through DeAndre Swift, and we trust Monangai to do the thing that we need him to do, whatever that may be at that point in time. Get a tough first down, get a goal line carry, work out of the backfield a bit, because they can both do those things and do them effectively.
Yep. I mean, Monangai is going to stay on the field because he works well in pass pro. And those kinds of running backs are always an asset in offense.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not a high-end asset, but he did have 12 carries. I mean, disappointment, he only had 23 yards on those 12 carries. But, again, you probably weren't rolling him out in any sort of fashion where you expected a boom today. With DeAndre Swift back, and in this matchup, you weren't going to get much. On the pass catcher side, Rome Odunze, 6 targets. He gets 2 catches for 41 yards. Cole Kmet leads the crew, 5 targets, 5 catches, 45 yards. with him healthy, Colson Loveland is kind of retreating back into what we saw him as earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
With Cole Kmet being healthy, are you interested in Colson Loveland rest of season? Is someone you would start in the fantasy playoffs possibly? Think maybe he'll get more traction by the time we get there?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this was always the problem with thinking of Colson Loveland this year, was that because it was never just Cole Kmet either, was the other part of it. And that it's still Roma Dunze, it's still DJ Moore, it's still Luther Burden and Olamide Zacchaeus. It's still all these guys as well.
Yeah.
Kmet, I mean, I'm not really thrilled about wanting to start him either at this point. But no, Loveland is not someone that I want to have to rely on, and I really hope I don't have to rely on.
You shouldn't. Look, if you made it to the fantasy playoffs and you're relying on Colson Loveland, it wasn't meant to be for you to go past the first round. So just be happy that you got there. You're like, I don't know, if the Dolphins were to sneak into the playoffs this season because they have a weak schedule rest away. Yeah. But you know what? We're going to move on. We're going to move on to the Bills-Buccaneers game. Buffalo wins this one as Lou takes a deep breath, 44-32. It was looking a lot closer than that earlier on in the game. Of course, Buffalo runs away with it mostly in the second half. We'll start on the Buffalo side because if you initially look at Josh Allen's numbers, like, oh, he went 19 of 30. That's not great. Oh, but wait, 317 yards and 3 touchdowns. Okay, that's better. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, he had 6 carries for 40 yards and what's that, 3 more touchdowns?
Yeah.
I had Josh Allen. Obviously started him in King's Classic today, and I won. I beat Drew Davenport over at Football Guys because of it. So take that, Drew.
Spicy.
Yeah, but we love Drew here. But yeah, Josh Allen, hell of a day. The rest of the offense, I mean, Tyrell Shavers led the team in receiving, Lou. We didn't even talk about him this morning. 4 catches for 90 yards, leads the team in targets. He has 5. James Cook is second, 3 catches for 66 yards. And then, of course, as we all called it, Ty Johnson with 2 catches for 61 and a touchdown because we knew that was going to be a thing today. Right? And that Gabe Davis gets 3 for 42. Spread out Dave from Buffalo. Gabe freaking Davis.
Yeah. It really was. And it was the big takeaway that I have from this game is not necessarily Tyrell Shavers. I mean, first of all, Keon Coleman was benched, coach's decision for the game, late to team meetings on Friday. Team leaders within the team took him aside and it basically said to media and reporters that the kid's gloves are off with him. It's no more you get a pat on the back, chuck on the shoulder, do better. It's a shape up and get right. Yeah. So I'm concerned about Keon. But anyhow, I don't necessarily want to say that Shavers is going to be a week-to-week thing here. I did like what I saw of him in the preseason and know that he can be functional like this. First thing we need to kind of understand is that Tampa Bay is a bad pass defense, like a really bad one. They have Antoine Winfield and nobody else. Absolutely nobody else. And that unfortunately makes Winfield worse because then he tries to make up for his compatriots' lack of ability. But the interesting thing to me here was seeing how involved Buffalo's running backs were in the passing game, and not just like the screen game, but down the field passing. That's where James Cook got his touchdown. Ty Johnson, Josh Allen and Ty Johnson almost had a super nifty play that ended up being a slightly forward pass. But that would have been really cool if it had worked out. And then Johnson also, took that kind of outlet pass and ended up breaking a long touchdown catch and run for it. That's the Buffalo that we saw last year when their offense was humming, when their offense was putting up 35 plus points every week. Not this zombie Buffalo Bills that we've seen the last month to 6 weeks. It's too soon to say, hey, let's do this. We're back. But you have to kind of entertain that thought. And I will say Ty Johnson got a lot more play this week than I expected, both the goal line and all that. He is very much the running back I want to own if anything was to happen to James Cook. And like, if I have James Cook, I'm staring down a playoff spot. I'm doing whatever I can do to have Ty Johnson on my bench.
Yeah, because it's not Ray Davis.
No, it's not.
Sadly, it's not Ray Davis. I wanted it to be Ray Davis. I like Ray Davis. He's
great on kickoff returns today, though.
Well, good
oddly
for...
enough, it's the best thing he's done all year.
And look, I'm just glad he has a job. That just makes me happy.
Man,
all right, let's.
Oh no!
Woo! Let's move over to the Tampa Bay side of this one, Lou. Baker Mayfield seems to have come back down to earth after the early MVP talk. He's had a rough last few contests today. 16-28, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But Sean Tucker, 19 carries for 106 yards, 2 touchdowns for Mr. Tucker, who you were touting today on our Start Sit show. Would also like to point out he had 2 catches for 34 yards, and that's right, folks, a 3rd touchdown for Sean Tucker. He was their offense today. You got a little bit of Emeka Egbuka, 5 catches for 40. Sterling Shepard had 4 catches for 54. Tez Johnson, 1 catch for 6 yards, only targeted 3 times today. Rachaad White does get involved in the rushing attack, 10 carries for 51 yards, but that was really the end of his production.
And it was all early. Like, once they saw what Tucker was able to do to Buffalo, it was all Tucker, which was, I mean, good for them for recognizing it and actually going with the hot hand, because Tucker very clearly was, because we know what Rachaad White is. And against this Bills defense that cannot defend the run to save their lives, Tucker is the right play. I was really worried about him today, and it's kind of gratifying to know I was right.
You were right. You were very right.
Yeah.
But moving forward, just to be clear, Sean Tucker's not a guy who's going to have weeks like this normally.
If the Tampa Bay coaching staff does the right thing, yes, he could. He is a better running back than is Rachaad White. Rachaad White's better in the passing game, but Tucker is not bad in the passing game. If they leaned into Sean Tucker, Bucky was going to miss the rest of the year, for instance. Yes, he absolutely could. You know, I don't foresee that happening, simply because we do expect Bucky to be back, and we know how this offense leans on him, and Baker leans on him. They trust him. I don't think it's the right thing. For the record, I disagree with this, and I understand what the situation is and what I want and think have no bearing on the situation.
Don't be that surprised if Bucky is out for the rest of the season, though. With the way that they've treated this, it feels like it's maybe he's gonna, nope. Oh, but maybe this, nope. But maybe this, nope. It's like right.
You gotta catch it. Gotta be faster than that. Gotta be faster. Yeah. No, and it's really, this last week it was different with Bucky, as far as he was very clearly closer this week than he had been at all, and that's really the reason that I'm saying that I expect him back. Sure. Because I mean, I do, and he's closer now than he has been really at any point. Which, I mean, they couldn't have just put him on IR.
I don't know, man. I don't know. What's going to happen to Tucker when Bucky's back? He's going to fade back into obscurity. You won't hear his name again rest of season. Yeah, he'll be a dead asset in fantasy. Yes, we have seen Bucky at practice.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't mean I believe he's going to play. Joe Mixon's been at a few practices too. Brock Purdy was showing up when he was out. I'm glad to see him back. I hope it means he's trending in the right way, because believe you me, I need Bucky back too. I have plenty of shares of Bucky that I would love to be firing up right now, and I can't. So, all right, Lou, let's move on to the next game. We've got the Packers defeating the New York Giants 27-20 at MetLife Stadium. We did not get the fun we thought we were going to get out of Jameis Winston today. He ends up going 19 of 29 for 201 yards and a touchdown. Tyrone Tracy, however, picked up the slack, 19 carries for 88 yards. Devin Singletary, 16 for 44 and 2 touchdowns for Devin Singletary. What do
Yeah.
you know? I know, right? Isaiah Hodgins did end up leading the team in receptions, 5 catches for 57 yards. Wandale, 4 for 36 on 9 targets. Outside of that, this Giants offense wasn't very exciting. They kind of fell into 20 points, if you ask me. Jameis showed flashes of being fun, but you can tell he's aged. He's not the same quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, part of it is also like, when Jameis was doing his thing with Cleveland, right? Like, you've got Jerry Jeudy there, which, we feel the way that we do about him as a wide receiver. He is an athlete, at least, a very good one. And Cedric Tillman, he may not be great, but I believe he is a functional NFL wide receiver. And the Giants just simply don't have a lot of those guys. And it makes it a hard world to live in.
Yep.
When you don't have guys to throw the ball, when you have Isaiah Hodgins signed back off of other team's practice squad this week to come in and, redo his time with the Giants here. Wandale Robinson, who's, a little, almost more of a scat back, but just at wide receiver.
Yep.
Who are you going to push the ball to? I mean, we even saw Theo Johnson fall flat. That was heartbreaking. Yep. I got Sean Tucker right. I got Theo Johnson wrong. It all comes out in the wash.
I thought we were going to see more Jalen Hyatt too, and everybody else thought I was crazy, and apparently I was. But he did have 4 targets today. Just 2 catches for 18. Wasn't anything magical.
He's still Jalen Hyatt is the problem.
That is the problem ultimately. All right, let's move on to the Packers side of this.
That's scary stuff, man.
They won this game.
They didn't lose this game. That is correct.
They did not lose this game. I've got a lot of questions though, because Jordan Love, not a good quarterback.
No. He could have been, but Matt LaFleur.
He could have been. He definitely could have been. I think sitting behind Aaron Rodgers hurt him a little bit too. Honestly, I think
some of each, right?
I think he was a guy who needed a season 2 max to sit, and it was a detriment when he got into that 3rd season of not playing.
Yeah, I get that.
But I digress.
And they had to start making really unfun decisions about his contract status way too soon into his playing career. And now we are where we are.
We are. And look, Josh Jacobs ends up hurt, 7 carries for 40 yards. Emmanuel Wilson steps up admirably-ish, 11 carries for 40. He gets a touchdown. Christian Watson, 4 catches for 46 yards. He ends up with 2 touchdowns on 5 targets. And then it was really just Romeo Doubs after that. He had 4 catches for 53 yards. We had a host of other guys with 1 and 2 targets, including Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, Dontavian Wiggs, John Fitzpatrick, Josh Wiley, and Luke Musgrave. Not much to take from the Green Bay side of this other than, please God, let Josh Jacobs be okay.
From what I'm hearing, it's that they don't think it's like season-ending knee injury. But he's probably going to miss some time, unfortunately, and it might not be a short amount of time. Like Emmanuel Wilson should be at the top of waiver wire claims this week. Like one of those, whatever you got left, send it. Don't think twice. This is an offense. I mean, Emmanuel Wilson, he's not the runner that Josh Jacobs is. He doesn't have that power, everything like that. But he's much, much better in the receiving game. Like he can actually catch passes out of the backfield, turn them into good production. And we could see him be, I don't even want to say like a low RB1 or anything, but a decent RB2 week to week for however long Jacobs is out.
Yeah, I have no issue with that. He'll be at the top of our waiver wire show tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yep. Probably going to be on the thumbnail even. Hey, solve that problem. I love that.
Hey, Nice.
All right, we're going to move on to this one. We're going to blaze through this game pretty quickly. The Jacksonville Jaguars defeat the Los Angeles Chargers 35-6. I don't even know what to really say about this game. I did not see the Chargers getting handled like that by Jacksonville.
No.
I thought if someone was going to get handled in this game, Lou, it was probably going to be the other way around. Justin Herbert gets hurt. He goes 10 of 18 for 81 yards and an interception. Trey Lance comes in, goes 3 for 8 for 37 yards. Justin Herbert was their leading rusher, 3 carries for 21 yards. Keenan Allen had 4 catches for 53. Otherwise, everything else, you look at their stat sheet, and was their offense even on the field?
No, they only ran 42 plays.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the big thing, because I was like, man, only 18 passing attempts. Like, we've seen him throw 45, 50 balls in a game many times this year at this point.
Yeah.
So seeing him only throw 18 times, like, boy. And I mean, this, as promising as this season started out for the Chargers, taking out Kansas City week 1, injuries have really taken the toll on the team. And we can say, oh, you got to have guys step up and, next man up and everything. Listen, when you lose your all-pro left tackle, then your all-pro right tackle, and then your stud rookie running back, and then your moose of a quarterback has to leave the game, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Jacksonville ran the ball and ran the ball and ran the ball, and the Chargers couldn't do anything about it. And I mean, that was that, and that ended up being the game. Like, by the time anything mattered, the game was over.
Well, we'll go ahead and move over to the Jacksonville side of this, because even LaQuint Allen Jr. got 8 carries today, which I'm not sad about. Loved him in Mobile. But really,
Nice.
Bashal Tutin, 15 carries for 74 and a touchdown. Travis Etienne, 19 for 73 and 2 touchdowns. The lone receiving touchdown goes to Tim Patrick. You dropped his name earlier.
I did. You tagged me, and I had to look up where he was, because I'm like, I have no idea where. I had no idea he was even in Jacksonville.
I didn't either until he caught the touchdown. Being honest,
what is
going
on?
Look, I'm a Tim Patrick stan. I love him from his time in Denver. I'm just happy to see him getting work, but I had no idea he was in Jacksonville either. But he got his touchdown today. I'm
just so happy he's where he always has that game, right? That one game a year where he's going to catch a touchdown or two, and people are like, should I pick him up? No, this is Tim Patrick. We know who he is. It's fine. We're happy for him.
What could have been if he hadn't had 2 straight seasons of season-ending knee injuries in Denver. Yeah. He was a joy to watch. He had a phenomenal season. I believe it was 2021, where he was just lights out. 22-23 hurts his knee, moves on to Detroit in 24. Looked good in Detroit, but who knows what could have been with him.
Right, and he's never going to be a significant role player there, simply because he was Detroit. They have all the studs.
Right. All right, Lou, we've only got a couple more games to cover here, so let's get to them. We're moving to the afternoon slate now, the 4:05 p.m. Eastern games. We're going to start with the San Francisco 49ers defeating the Arizona Cardinals 41-22. Lou, I think it's safe to say that Brock Purdy's all right.
Yeah. Looked great. Good zip on his balls. He's able to push off that toe, which was, the concern. It was good to hear them talk about how they wanted to make sure that he was going to be right by the time he came back, which, I mean, good. It's really easy to be irresponsible with these kind of nagging injuries. And it sounds like they did right by him, which is great, because that, means more joy for us as fantasy folks. Like, there is now another really strong quarterback in the mix feeding our weapons.
Yep. Well, and he was obviously on a pitch count today, because he could be. He only threw the ball 26 times, 200 yards, but 3 touchdowns.
And he didn't need to throw it more, because they did. Starting off the game with a 98-yard return and then a 1-yard touchdown run. That right there, takes one drive off the field for you.
Yeah. Well, they had this game in hand from the start, which I don't think was terribly surprising. Christian McCaffrey goes 13 carries for 81 yards. He adds 5 catches for 40 and a receiving touchdown. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns. Of course, George Kittle with the other 2 receiving touchdowns. Good to see him back, and back with Brock Purdy.
And I think that's the key. The thing that, is most likely been missing is that, Brock Purdy has the field awareness, is the technician to actually unlock Kittle. Whereas Mac Jones, he's simply not that quarterback. He can get it to, the top guys down the field, that sort of thing. And it was good to see. It was good to see Kittle get in the end zone. Hurt for me personally, because I was playing against them, but my team would have needed to do something in order for that to matter, and they did not. So, go George Kittle. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
One with your bad self.
Ricky Pearsall, 3 targets, 1 catch, no yards. So kind of what we said. He was a real major boom bust. Like he was either going to see phenomenal volume or he wasn't going to see much at all. Trended
And they
towards the
didn't
not
need him
much
to
at
be
all.
more than that. And
No.
they didn't need him to be more than that this week, and that plays into it as well.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the Arizona side of this where it got nuts.
There's some fun here.
Jacoby Brissett. Oh boy.
Yeah.
57 attempts, 47 completions. 57 attempts, 47 completions, which is a regular season NFL record and tied for the overall record with Ben Roethlisberger, who did it in a playoff game. I read our news account. Actually, I did kind of know that. But 452 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And the beneficiary of that, Michael Wilson, 15 catches for 185 yards. Trey McBride, 10 catches for 115 yards. Greg Dortch, 6 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. Michael Carter got in on the action with 5 catches. We had Bam Knight with 4 catches. Xavier Weaver with 2. Amari DeMercado with 2. Remember Elijah Higgins? He had 2. And Andre Bacelli. I don't know. I'm not Italian. I don't know how to say it. I'm not even going to pretend.
I've never even heard his name.
He had a catch. 18 targets for Michael Wilson. Someone we talked about as a solid flex play this week. You could have started him in a super flex slot and he would have still been a baller this week. Just goes off.
What was interesting to me about that specifically is, I mean, first of all, it was kind of easy to see this coming for Michael Wilson because he has the skills to step into that empty Marvin Harrison Jr. role and obviously thrive. But like you said, 18 targets. Trey McBride had 11. Do you know how many times Marvin Harrison Jr. has out-targeted Trey McBride when they've both been healthy? Exactly. Does not happen. Is Marvin Harrison Jr. the Michael Wilson that we have at home?
Yes.
That's kind of where I'm coming to with it. And don't get me wrong, there was a good amount of Wilson's production that came in like very real garbage time, down multiple scores with time winding down in the fourth quarter. So don't get it twisted. And he was consistently targeted down the field, was the primary read, and Jacoby Brissett made him right. And Michael Wilson made Jacoby Brissett right too.
Yep.
I don't know that Michael Wilson is going to continue to be this guy throughout the rest of the season. But I also don't know if you can or should put this toothpaste back in the tube if you're the Arizona Cardinals. Like, this is a legitimate weapon you have on your team, and it needs to be used.
I think Jonathan Gannon's smart enough to see that. I don't think that he...
Sure about that?
I
hope so.
Let's say put it that way. I hope he's smart enough to see. Michael Wilson's a very viable NFL receiver. He's a very viable, apparently, wide receiver 1 in this Arizona offense if it's going to be Brissett. I don't know that
he's still the second banana pass catcher, right? Like that's the thing. When you've got Trey McBride, when you've got Brock Bowers, your wide receiver 1 is not necessarily your primary option. And that's fine when you've got Trey McBride and Brock Bowers. I think Michael Wilson can be that guy for, any team. I'd love to, honestly, I'm very greedy. I want to see him in Buffalo because we just kind of collect wide receivers like that, like Pokemon.
It's true, you do.
Yeah, we do. And then they de-evolve. But that's another thing altogether. But yeah, I loved seeing what we saw out of Michael Wilson today. That was fun football, even though they lost.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Too bad they lost. Not surprised they lost.
No.
But yeah, and a hell of a game from Brissett. And it just proved what we have been saying. He is a very, very sturdy, reliable start rest of season. The 49ers defense, while not great and very banged up, is still pretty freaking good. And he put those numbers on them today. So
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to get to this one before we move to the next game, Lou. Keenan Dolick, 37-13. Thoughts on the Jacobs injury? What's the likelihood he returns by weeks 14, 15? From everything I've read, and I think that we have discussed, it sounds like that is probable that he's back by week 13 to 14.
Yeah, it's a little tough. I think you can probably rely on week 15 pretty solidly. I've designed a whole injury manager that really takes into account all these sorts of different things. I've not had the chance to plug Jacobs' injury in yet because, well, just a whole bunch of reasons. And 15 is kind of right on that borderline of will he be okay? Obviously, every situation is a little different.
Yep.
Don't want to make assumptions, that sort of thing. Emmanuel Wilson is the hedge that you want to make if you're lacking, if you have the ability. But yeah, keep your fingers crossed. I wouldn't count on 14. Hope for 15, and yay fantasy playoffs.
Yay! Yeah, I was gonna say yay injuries, but like in a very sarcastic way.
Yeah,
but,
right. Can turn them off.
Yeah, please, God.
Pork.
Like in Madden.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're going to move on to our next game. We've got the Los Angeles Rams defeating the Seattle Seahawks 21-19, despite a last-minute effort of Jason Myers to try and hit a 61-yarder. He did not. So, no, he did not. And we're going to start on the Seattle side of this one because Sam Darnold, some are saying he turned back into a pumpkin. He threw 4 interceptions, did not have a touchdown, goes 29-44 for 279. Kenneth Walker seemed to carry the offense on the running side here, 16 carries for 67 yards. Charbonnet adding 11 for 37. Ken Walker does get the rushing touchdown. And then
Finally.
finally. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba, 9 catches for 105 yards. He is that dude. Unreal. And that catch he made on the sideline blew my mind.
Oh my God, so good.
Right. Well, and
good.
The thought to transition hands from left to right, just beautiful. Then AJ Barner gets 11 targets today, 10 catches for 70. Elijah Arroyo, I wanted to see him get more action. We talked about it earlier in the week, did not happen.
Mm-hmm. No.
Barner's a viable fantasy tight end.
He really is. Really is at this point. Because, especially with Torrey Horton hurt, Seattle doesn't have another guy right now. Yes, they traded for Rashid Shaheed. It takes time for these guys to get up to speed. He's clearly not there yet. They're using him in all these gadget plays and what have you, that sort of thing. Cooper Kupp is, suffering from old. And JSN is that dude, like we said. But they really don't have anyone else. And Barner is good enough to step into that void while there's not another dude beside JSN.
Yeah. And he fits what Darnold wants to do.
Yeah.
Which is not throw 4 interceptions, man. Come on.
No, but you know what I saw today? Because I watched a decent part of this game today. And 21-19 makes it sound like it was this, kind of boring, scrappy, sloppy game. It was not. It was super cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all have the chance, it was great to watch. Good football.
It was very good football. Yeah, the score was deceiving on this one.
Yeah.
Let's move over to the. Oh no, go ahead. Sorry, you got.
Let me hit Darnold real quick. The thing that I was worried about this year with Sam Darnold was that he was the wheels were going to come off the way they did at the end of last season with Minnesota. Right? He never looked like that guy today. He looked like, yes, okay, I'm getting knocked down, I'm getting punched in the mouth, and he kept coming back, kept trying, never lost his confidence, never didn't know where he was going with his reads. Shit just didn't work today, and it worked. That's just how it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I liked what I saw out of Sam Darnold today, even though it didn't work out today.
Well, there was you didn't watch him melt, like you're kind of saying. He got back up, he tried to keep going, just wasn't his day. Every quarterback has those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Brady had
Josh Allen last week.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna sit here and say he turned into a pumpkin. I still think Sam Darnold is a damn good quarterback on a very good team. And like we've talked about, these division games get weird, and there's no way around it. All right, we're gonna move over to the Los Angeles side of this one. more unimpressive numbers, really. Matthew Stafford, 15 to 28 for 130 yards. Does not have a turnover, 2 touchdowns. And then Kyron Williams, 12 carries for 91 yards. He has a touchdown.
Long
Puka
touchdown.
Nacua, and Puka Nacua leads the way, 7 catches for 75 yards. Colby Parkinson with the receiving touchdown on 2 receptions. And then Devontae Adams, lone catch, 1 yard, 1 touchdown.
On 7 targets.
That's the 7 targets.
That's the part for me that kind of stood out, is like, okay, so are they just not getting him involved? No, they are. He was right there behind Puka as far as the top target earner, and just didn't connect today for whatever reason. Like you said, Stafford was off more than he has been.
Yep.
And this is kind of, Stafford's been on a heater for like 2 months, which has been absurd and fun to see. If he's coming off that heater, this is a little bit more of the danger with the Rams players. Not Puka so much, because he's Puka freaking Nacua.
Yeah.
But the danger in Devontae Adams and whatever Rams tight end flavor of the week that you want to throw out there.
Well, I think too, like we were just saying, this is a divisional game. These divisional games are always weird, and this kept getting billed as the game of the year in the NFC West so far. A lot of caveats to that, and it was, because these are the two best teams in the division. San Francisco's not going to win this division. If they're going to get into the playoffs, they're going to sneak in as a wild card. And I think we know the Cardinals aren't making the playoffs. So
no, they're not.
Yeah, this is the division, and those games are always weird. And they're 2 very good teams. So
I will say I could see either of those teams representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. Like they're that level of quality teams.
Yeah, I could too. And the NFC isn't that good, if we're being honest.
No, the great teams in the NFC are not great teams. They are very good teams, and the Rams and Seahawks are 2 of those.
Yep. All right, Lou, we're going to move on to the next game, the Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore wins this game 23-16. Mostly they won this game because Cleveland's not very good, if we're being honest, because they weren't either. Lamar Jackson, 14 of 25 for 193 yards. He throws 2 interceptions. The saving grace in this game was 18 carries for 103 yards from Derrick Henry. And then the fake tush push with Mark Andrews. He rolls that into a 35-yard carry for a touchdown. Otherwise, I know.
35-yard rushing touch
for Mark Andrews, of all people.
For Mark Andrews. God,
I know.
Cannot believe it. I just about shat a brick when I saw it live. It was just...
Me too.
What is happening? How is nobody catching this guy? It was wild.
Well, I caught it as he was running into the end zone. I was doing something with the kids, something going on. I'm like, oh, Mark Andrews reception for a touchdown. And then I see the replay. I'm like, oh my God. What just happened? Okay. Yeah. And that's all ball. I mean, because Cleveland is bad, that's all they had to do today to win.
I mean, that's also all they could do. Like, Lamar Jackson's going to have nightmares of Myles Garrett tonight, let me tell you. Because dude was there all the time. And Baltimore struggles with Cleveland. It's just what they do.
Every year.
You know, it's, again, another weird divisional game. These AFC North teams, they know each other so well. They're used to dealing with Lamar Jackson and his shenanigans. You know, and these teams that can play defense, not you, Cincinnati, have plans for that. So, and Cleveland's got some good plans.
They do. They've got a very good defense. What they do not have is a good offense. So we're going to move on to the Cleveland side of this one. Split quarterback play. Dylan Gabriel goes down with a concussion. When he leaves, he was 7 of 10 for 68 yards. Did not have a touchdown nor an interception. Then we got Shedeur Sanders, Lou. And people were excited for about 30 seconds of that. And then he goes 4 for 16, 47 yards and an interception. Nobody did anything on the Cleveland side at all.
And Gabriel looked better than he has while he was in the game today. He did not look great. He did not look good. He has looked terrible recently. He looked better than that. before leaving the game with a concussion, just to be clear. And then, like Nate said, Shedeur Sanders comes in, takes one of those I'm fading way back and trying to be the athlete that I was in college. Oh, and now I'm sacks. And things just kept getting worse from there for Sanders.
Yep.
He was taken in the 5th round for a reason. He doesn't have any particularly strong attributes as far as what quarterbacks can do as far in terms of arm or ball placement or legs. He just doesn't really have anything. And it shows.
Yeah. I don't even know that he's a backup level quarterback. He's a practice squad QB.
I mean, right now, yeah. Like maybe he could
Maybe
be a
he
backup
can,
level quarterback.
maybe at some point. We'll see.
Yeah.
Otherwise on this offense, Lou, Quinshon Judkins, 17 carries for 59 yards. Leading receiver was Cedric Tillman, 3 catches for 52 yards. Harold Fannin right behind that with 2 catches for 26. Then Jerry Jeudy had 3 for 21. And a name, I'm only bringing this up because I want to say his name, Malachi Corley, 2 catches for 9 yards. And
yeah, it sounds like a Malachi Corley line. Yep.
Yeah, about right. All right, we're going to move on to the last game here, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. This one makes me especially happy. The Denver Broncos defeat the Kansas City Chiefs today, 22-19 on a last-minute field goal. Again, Lou, this is a divisional game. These divisional games are always weird. I'm not going to take a lot out of the fact that Denver won. I'm not going to take a lot out of the stats on either side for this one, especially because the game was in Denver. Patrick Mahomes looked good. I took no issue with his play. 29-45 for 276, touchdown and an interception. They couldn't get the rushing game going, which this has been a problem for Kansas City all season. Kareem Hunt's their leading rusher, 13 carries for 59 yards.
Well, and this is the problem with Kansas City, right? Because Denver is built to beat the Kansas City team that they have right now. They rush the passer incredibly well. They play defense on the back end incredibly well. And they stress you with angles and that sort of thing on offense enough. And Bo Nix runs around and does Bo Nix things. That is a team that is built to beat this Kansas City team. How you beat Denver is by running the ball straight at them and you overpower their small front. The fact that Kansas City coming off a bye didn't want to or couldn't do that is weird because Andy Reid is smarter than that. Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball 45 times against this Denver defense, that's how you lose against this Denver defense. Because Nick Benito and all that, they're going to eat your lunch. And even though Patrick Mahomes did okay, I didn't get to watch a ton of this game. I still saw plenty of free rushers coming at Patrick Mahomes. Guys, catch Patrick Mahomes from behind. That's not things you see often.
No. Denver got at him today. And they could not run the ball, so they had to throw. And really, this success was middling. Rashee Rice, 6 catches for 38 yards. Travis Kelce, a little bit of a comeback game for him, even for only 1 week. 9 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. That was essentially Kansas City offense. That was all it was.
And if you're Denver, you probably take that, right? Like if you're saying, okay, Hollywood Brown's not getting us, Rashee Rice isn't getting us, Xavier Worthy's not getting us, but Travis Kelce does, you probably live with, and you say you don't get a running game. I think you live with that. Like that's the way I choose to die.
Yes, 1,000%. If you can shut that offense down to being Mahomes
just
to
Travis Kelce,
you can work with that. Teams can work with that, which is what Denver did today. Now, let's move to the Denver side here. This was spread out a little bit more. Bo Nix, 24-37 for 295 yards. Does not have a touchdown nor an interception. Jaleel McLaughlin, he gets the rushing touchdown. Woohoo, shocking.
Thanks,
he
John
was
Payton.
6 carries for 19 yards and a touchdown. RJ Harvey, 11 for 30. On the receiving side, Pat Bryant sees 6 targets, 5 catches, 82 yards. Troy Franklin leads the team or tied for the team lead in targets with 8, 4 catches for 84. Sutton, 4 for 59. again, it's the Denver offense we've seen all season. We know what they're going to do. Minus J.K. Dobbins, we were a little curious what they'd do without Dobbins, and they did it well. Like, they did as well as they could against Kansas City.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They did as well as they could, and they did as well as they needed to. Also, I think this is good, healthy cold water to pour on RJ Harvey, honestly, because people needed to see and understand that, there's no J.K. Dobbins blocking RJ Harvey, and this is still a Sean Payton offense and Sean Payton team. This is what he does. He's going to spread the ball around unless he's got studs to feed, and it's just not Denver right now.
No, it's not. But he's doing what he can with this team. They're 9-2.
Yeah,
so
that's a weird 9-2 team, man.
I've compared it. I think you and I have already talked about this once. This reminds me of that Steelers team, the Chase Claypool year, where they were like 11-0, and it was like, are they though? And then I think they finished the season 11-6, and we're out of the first round of the playoffs. So that's what this team feels like to me, except their defense is so good. That's the thing.
I would love to see the Patriots and Broncos match up in the playoffs, just because I think that just the vibes of both are in a place where it just needs to happen. The fan in me wants to see that happen.
Tom Brady couldn't beat the Broncos in the playoffs. He just never did it. They always knocked him out. So I want to see if that bad mojo carried over to Bo Nix and Drake May, because
on the Patriots.
I would love it. That would be fantastic. Yeah. Outside of that, Marvin Mims, he saw some involvement. He didn't see a target, but he did get one carry. I think Marvin Mims is going to be worked out of the offense for the most part. We're not going to see him much. He's made too many mistakes, but he's been an asset in the kicking game. But if you're rostering him in fantasy, he's probably a guy you can drop and maybe get some other bench pieces that'll help you out a little bit more. Troy Franklin's still floating out on that waiver wire quite a bit, which is wild to me.
Yeah, he shouldn't be. He's the guy in Denver now. It was and has been Sutton, and now it's Franklin.
It's Troy Franklin.
We just this is the world we live in now. It's weird, but we got to adjust to it.
There's nothing else we can do. Exactly. Speaking of the world we live in, we need to get back to the worlds that we live in, because we got to sleep so we can get back to you guys tomorrow. So we're going to get out of here, but thank you so much for tuning in. If you're listening to the audio version or watching this on the replay, please make sure you like this video, follow us on your favorite podcasting platform, and subscribe to this channel. We appreciate it so much. If you have more questions for us, head over to our Discord channel. The link is in the show description. We are there 24/7, 365 to answer all of your football questions. And then do yourself a favor. If you like winning, head over to OptimusFantasy.com, click on that tools tab, and use the code OptimusFall to get 25% off your next 4 months of tools, folks. All right, Lou, it's been a blast. We'll be back next week. I'll be back tomorrow night with Keith. We've got waivers to talk about. Lots going on this week.
It's really easy to give up on waivers this time of year, and I feel like we had a really great example of why you can't. Between Sean Tucker and Michael Wilson, these were 2 waiver wire guys this week.
Yep.
Who absolutely blew up and won matchups. Like, this is why you grind waiver wire when it's not fun, when the lure's gone, because these are the types of things that you find. So keep at it. Don't lose hope. If you're falling out of it, play spoiler ethically. Play spoiler. Knock teams off. It's fun.
Yep, and this is where you win. This is where you win championships, by making those late season moves to bolster your rosters.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Hang out with Keith and I for an hour. We'll be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time ahead of kickoff for the Monday Night Football game. But until then, I'm Nate Palvo for Lou Brunson. Have a great night, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow.